New York Town is poised to be the first U.S. town to accusation a fee to drivers in and forced to bring traffic and lift cash for social transportation. How might it job and which can it find out of London? The suggestion, gone by country lawmakers in March, is set to start in 2021 and urged to lift $1 bn, £765 meter, every year. How the politics will be forced remnant to be seen, but expert prediction the fee to be about £11, per vehicle. London, Singapore and Stockholm as well include traffic jam charges, and some US cities are examining such tolls. No coercion politics has been designed still, but the fee is anticipated to be forced by a web of cameras about the town and sensors located on recorded vehicles. Cars how do not include the probe, that would be such to the Interstate Highway Duty Framework named the Easy Undergo, will include a picture undertaken of their vehicle's quantity platter and a draft will be shipped to them in the position. The accusation would use to cars traveling under 60th Road in Manhattan's center industry area, but exceptions may be cut out for residents who dwell during How periphery. In London, that entered a such fee in 2003, residents within the traffic jam area are entitled to a 90% rebate. Several New York Town political community include named for a full clearing on drive charges for original inhabitants. Cars on the motorways how boundary the east and western edges of the Isle are not anticipated to be loaded as they undergo via the traffic jam area. As in some cities, the fee is not anticipated to use to bicycles, motorbikes or mopeds. City Transport Politics Advisor Bruce Schaller says the main expressiveness of the suggestion is to lift cash for the Metropolitan Transportation Credibility, MTA, that rest services such as the Metro and bus framework, which we treated on a 10 years back. It was cute lot equivalent expressiveness on reduction traffic jam, says Mr. Schaller, accounting how the suggestion has been in the plant for lot year. Yet traffic jam is as well an essential portion of the image there. Todd Littman, a transport politics analysis at the Victoria Transportation Politics Institution in Canada, says how for the schedule to be deliberate a successful, the traffic jam bet must drop about 20%. Charge a mild fee can get you a 10% to 20% reducing, says Mr. Littman, but a steeper fee would perhaps include the impact of receive though more than cars off the way. He predicts how in comparison with London, that extortion a plain pound-day fee for cars in the 8 square mi area, New York will accept a VAR framework in prices growing and declining for spike and away peak several hours. He says the New York VAR schedule will feature love a tool draft, in that users are exhibited relying on how lot they use, a framework how he told would be less than profligate rather than a day royalties. VAR charges promote you to use how source more than effectively, says Mr. Littman, or we failure to do how in roads. Lot will rely on social transport, that New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has describes as lack, as reduce revenue residents who are largest struck by the royalties, will potential refuge to some methods of journey in addition individual car. One element drive the realization of a traffic jam tax is the anxiety above air contamination. The price per business lorry, and production as well advocacy for and clearing, is prediction to be about $25. Vans and buses how conduct several passengers will potential be taking into account precedence. A bus occupant is giver up a 10 as lotway area as someone drive one in their vehicle, says Mr. Littman. All benefits if you offer precedence to the high importance trips. Exceptions are anticipated to be done for human beings in care disabilities, and could be stretched to police force patrolling cars. The renowned Amber Cabs had lobbied for an clearing but instead of got a rebate, they will pay $. Rideshare drivers love Uber and Lyft will pay $. Opponents in New York say the accusation will shove drivers in neighborhoods how already include top rates of asthmatic and air contamination such as Harlem, Southward Bronx and Bedford-Stuyvesant. For the cause, says New York Town Councilman Danique Milling machine operator, it will be really retrograde, setting the load on those residing external Manhattan. It is the external city human beings how go in Manhattan how would be profitable the cost. Down there were such fears in London, but Tony Travers, a prof at the London High School of Economy, says how test made 5-year following realization in London shows that had not happened. London's framework remnant separating, as the norm fee has more than rather than dual with its 2003 introduce. Lot opponents of the accusation in New York are just versus profitable for thing how they previous thick felt love they got for complimentary, says Mr. Littman, who adds how the U.S. by the government spends about $500 to $1,000 on roads for every informally belonging us car. Part of way expenses are paid for by drivers via gas prices and car registrations, but part is paid via general characteristic and turnover taxes how human beings are required to pay independently of if they driving. By overloaded city facility, motorists are departure to pay for traffic jam, each in period or in cash. You each pay immediately or implicitly for those roads. The London duty has diminished the sum of cars on the way in centre London by about 30% with the extortion were executed, says Mr. Travers, and has led to an enhancement in ordinary traffic speeds. Though the full quantity of vehicles on the road has reduced, the full road area has as well diminished, he says. Some benefits, such as broad occupant sidewalks and pavements, and growing the cross times for pedestrian traffic at junctions, include as well been underfunded with the $300-400 meter engendered every year of traffic jam extortion. In spite the reduced quantity of vehicles on the roads may appear fair as overloaded as up with they include been shrunken to do chamber for additional pedestrian traffic. The outcome has been the identical common standard of traffic jam, he says.